With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
When someone you love is facing cancer, you want to do more than send a card or flowers that will wilt in a week. You want to actually help. That's where the Balm Box comes in. Our care packages are built from research with over 500 cancer patients and caregivers, packed with items people actually use during treatment. Think soothing, practical, thank goodness I have this kind of relief. For you, it's not just a gift. It's a way to show up in a moment where words fall short. For them, it's comfort, calm, and a reminder they're not alone. From chemo-friendly boxes to mastectomy recovery kits, even options for men, we've made it simple to give something that's elegant, premium, and genuinely useful. And yes, domestic shipping's always free on orders over $50, because making someone feel cared for shouldn't be complicated. So skip the empty get well soon. Send real help, real comfort, and maybe even a laugh. Visit thebalmbox.com. That's TheBalmBox.com. Balm, like healing and care. The Balm Box, because cancer patients don't need bouquets and brownies. They need balm.
My name's Adele Onyango, and welcome to another episode of Legally Clueless. No, seriously, I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. Hey you, welcome to this episode of Legally Clueless. This is what's coming up.
Having married my mom young, before she went for college, it kind of felt like my father's family did not feel my mom was the best wife for him. Because of who my father was in that moment, someone was brought for him. So it was like, there's my mom, and then there's another wife that has come into the picture, someone who is more educated, I'd say in that time, someone that this family felt was worthy of my dad. I came home from school and my mom was not there. So what I noticed in that moment is that while we were leaving, my grandma was chasing us, screaming, oh, she's living with the children, oh, she's stealing the kids.
Ooh, this is going to be one of those very memorable stories. It's Audrey and her story is coming up a little later in this episode, part 1 of it. So buckle up for that. But before we get there, if you are an OG member, I've got nothing but love for you. And if you're a newbie, this show goes out every single Monday. So make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts on so that you don't miss out on our episodes. I also just want to give you a heads up. Here at Legally Clueless, we run a lot of wellness events and we have our final group therapy coming up. It's the final one for the year. Not actually the final one forever, the final one for the year. It's coming up really soon. So this Wednesday on our newsletter and on the Midweek Teas, stay woke because we make the announcement. And let me just tell you this much. This particular 3-part group therapy, meaning there are 3 sessions that you're going to be signing up for, is going to be fully focused on childhood trauma. Imagine you're not the only one who is finding it tricky to navigate that space, or you're finding your childhood trauma is showing up in the workplace, in your business, in your relationships, in your friendships. Yeah, it's time for us to sort it out nice and early before December when we have to go and hang out with the triggers. The triggers when it comes to childhood trauma. So make sure you listen to the Midweek Teas on Wednesday. You sign up for a newsletter so you don't miss out on the announcement, and you book your slot, because not only is it the last one for the year, but of course group therapy is very intimate, very limited numbers. So the quicker you book your slot, the better. Okay, let's head into 100 African stories. And this week on the podcast, we're stepping into Audrey June's story. So she's going to take us back to her childhood, the joy, the bond with her siblings, the love in her family, and then when the cracks began to appear. All right, I don't want to give too much away, but this is one episode that very many of us are going to connect with. 100 African stories on Legally Clueless. Stories from Africa.
So my name is Audrey. I was born in a town in Migori County called Rongo. I'm a firstborn in a family of 5, including my late brother. I'd say I was born in a very happy family. Like all fairy tales begin, there's always the good and then something happens. But my childhood was basically very good. My brother and I, we were kind of like twins. I'd say so. We were born 17 months apart. I was born June of this year. I was born the following year, November. So a difference of a few months here and there. And my sister was born, I think, 3 years later. Like all of us were born in a span of 3 years. So I'd say my mom was the Rihanna of that time. But, I would not say that there was anything wrong with my life then. My brother was there. I was happy he was born. When you're a young child and then you get like a sibling, they're the best thing to ever happen to you. Any joke of them being taken or anything happening to them, you cannot even imagine that. My mom and dad, they met young. They were like a very young couple who met and they fell in love. And like less than a year later, I was born. Less than 17 months later, my brother was born. 3 years later, my sister was born. So it was a very young marriage of very young people. And just allow me to say that my father is a firstborn of like 30 kids. I won't go into the details of that, but being the firstborn of that many children, because his father had like a cool number of wives, so much was expected of my dad. And I feel like having married my mom young before she went for college or like got something to do with her life, it kind of felt like my father's family did not feel my mom was the best wife for him. It looked like there wasn't so much value she was adding, if you look at it, because this is the firstborn of like very many kids, and a lot of expectation is put on him in terms of work, what he brings to the table. And then now my mom is here, she's young, she has small kids. I didn't feel like like looking at it from an adult perspective, I don't think she was so welcomed in this family. And as a young child, you don't know that. I'm telling you this from me being an adult now. So she wasn't happy in this marriage, in my opinion. She was maybe frustrated or maybe not heard. And again, because of who my father was in that moment, someone was brought for him. So it was like there's my mom, and then there's another wife that has come into the picture, someone who is more educated, I'd say, in that time. Someone way cooler, someone that this family felt was worthy of my dad. So the reason why I'm saying this is because this wonderful fairy tale of me and my siblings and our little family, it kind of starts to crumble, with a third party or like someone else coming in. It means it starts to crumble, there are cracks coming in, and now that bliss and happiness, because my dad is a very, very interesting person. He would take us on walks, carry us on his neck to go and watch sunset, go and see bird nests. We would go shopping. It was such a wonderful time. But when this other person came in, it's like there was a shift. So I'm not really privy of the time. I don't want to use exact years because it's like I can't remember clearly. But I know it's a time before 207 and a time after. So I'll be referencing 207 as my middle time. So anything after and anything before. So I remember a time before 207, I came home from school and my mom was not there. And so I had my younger siblings with me. I'm the firstborn. In as much as I'm young, I need to know what's going on. I need to take care of the rest. So my mom doesn't come home. I notice that my grandma is taking care of us. She's cooking and then she's bathing us and then she takes us to sleep later in the night. And me as a child, I think I had a bond with my mom. So her not being around, it was so traumatic for me. So I'm just wondering, where is she? Day 1, she's not around. Day 2, she's not around. And again, I really cannot tell how many days she was away, but me right now feels like it was 14 days. Ever since I've grown up, in my mind, I just took it as 14 days. So I'd say she was away for 14 days. So on the 14th day, I'm in school, I'm playing. Like, you're worried and then you're not. Like I was like, she's not coming back. She's not communicating. I don't know where she is. We are young. Going to sleep with my siblings. I'm so scared. Like they're asleep, but I'm awake. And I'm not sure if I was between age 5 to 7, somewhere thereabout. On the 14th day, I see her in school and I'm like, whew, finally, she's here. And when she comes, she's like, hey, go get your bro. Because my sister was young. She hadn't started school. So me and my bro we were in school. I think I was maybe in class 3 or class 2. And for me, seeing my mom after such a long time, it's such a good thing and I'm so happy. So I go get my bro and she's like, we're going on a journey. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. I'm like, now this is it. So we go home and when we get to the house, I realize that everything is packed up. Every single thing, except maybe utensils and the seats, but every single thing is packed up. And she has like bananas and sweets for us, and we're just happy. Everything is just the way it should be. And she's like, I want everyone to carry a bag. She had a bag for me, a bag for my bro. My sister was very young. She's like, we are going. So we are going, and I'm so happy. I don't even care where we're going, but we are going. So what I noticed in that moment is that while we were leaving, my grandma was chasing us, screaming, oh, she's leaving with the children, oh, she's stealing the kids. But for me, it's such a happy moment. I'm jumping. I'm like, it's adrenaline. It's so exciting. And my mom is like, walk fast and don't look back. So we are going and we're going. So we went up to the bus stop with my grandma chasing. It was like a whole movie scene, by the way. And we get there and we get into a bus. And that day, now that I'm an adult, is the day my mother left my father, basically. I didn't realize it was a divorce, kind of. It was like the day my family was breaking. But for me, it was one of those wonderful days where we were going on this journey, and I didn't see like anything wrong with it. But now, later on, I realized that was the last time I was at our home.
When someone you love is facing cancer, you want to do more than send a card or flowers that will wilt in a week. You want to actually help. That's where the Balm Box comes in. Our care packages are built from research with over 500 cancer patients and caregivers, packed with items people actually use during treatment. Think soothing, practical, thank goodness I have this kind of relief. For you, it's not just a gift, it's a way to show up in a moment where words fall short. For them, it's comfort, calm, and a reminder they're not alone. From chemo-friendly boxes to mastectomy recovery kits, even options for men, we've made it simple to give something that's elegant, premium, and genuinely useful. And yes, domestic shipping's always free on orders over $50, because making someone feel cared for shouldn't be complicated. So skip the empty get well soon. Send real help, real comfort, and maybe even a laugh. Visit thebalmbox.com. That's TheBalmBox.com. Balm, like healing and care. The Balm Box, because cancer patients don't need bouquets and brownies. They need balm.
Because we never really went back, coming to think about it. So we went to my mother's place, now my maternal grandmother. And it was all, when you're a child, you're not processing this the way I'm processing right now. Yes, so we got there, and I think after 3 months or more, my father comes. Because when people in marriage, I think they disagree, there's always trying to talk, maybe to get her to come back. I really don't know what the adults were speaking about, but he came after some time. So when he came, my brother and my father were best friends. They loved each other. I mean, my father loved all of us, but there was just something about my brother because, he was the only boy. So they just had this thing. So my father comes on and there's this communication, adults are speaking. And then at the end of the day, my brother insists that he has to go back with my dad. It was, I can't remember the exact time, but they went back together. So I remained with my sister on our mother's side, and my brother went with my dad on the other side. So basically, my brother is with my paternal grandma, and me and my sister, we are with my maternal grandma. And my mom, during this time, I think she was looking for jobs to do. She would travel to Nairobi, come get some work to do for a few months. Then she would come back home. So we were fully living with our grandma. She was taking care of us. So after, the way currently there is co-parenting, I think maybe they came up with something of that sort. But back before 2007, maybe it wasn't called co-parenting per se. But I realized that after maybe a few months, my dad would come. We'd meet at a certain restaurant. We'd play with my siblings. He would come with my brother, and then my mom would go with us in this restaurant. And we'd sit there, we'd eat, talk, play. And then in the evening, my brother and my father would go back, and then me and my sister and my mom would go back to my grandmother's place. So this went on for about I'd say twice in a year. It happened twice in a year. And then now, the third time that we met with my dad, my sister also insisted on going on the other side. For some reason, I never left my mom. I just felt safer on this side. I didn't even know what was there on the other side, but in my head, I was like, I'm not trying this. So every time we'd meet, for me, I always felt safer with my mom on this other side. So the next time, my sister also went, so I remained by myself on this other side. Being alone, it wasn't easy, to be honest. I suffered loneliness as a child. One thing I also realized is that I had to find a reason why this is happening. We were happy, we were living together. Out of nowhere, we are here now. There's separation. I don't understand what's going on. There's no adult explaining this to me. So as a child, you try to come up with an explanation. And for me, I was like, this has to be something I did. This has to be something, maybe I didn't do my homework on time. Maybe I didn't wash my socks. There has to be something I did that made my fairy tale just go to hell and everything just went bad. So I remember those times when I was alone, I would watch other children play, but not go there to play with them. I would just sneak by the fence, look at them playing, and then imagine that I'm playing with my brother and my sister and just enjoy that, not involve myself. I basically became someone who I'm in a crowd, but I'm not in that crowd. There's me and then there's everyone else. And there's a time that I saw a child that looked like my bro, and I was convinced they look the same, they talk the same. I was sure the name was the same. So I would stalk this child. I didn't know I was a stalker. Honestly, to me, it wasn't really stalking, come to think about it. But me now, after watching all the movies, I know I was a stalker. I would watch him play. I would follow him around. Literally, I would go to their place and I would be watching him from the fence, everything he does. And I would feel so happy. And then I would tell my mom, I think I saw someone who looks like Warren. And I think maybe because she's an adult, she's like, this is just a child. But it was a real thing for me. It made me feel so good that there's someone out there. I would feel like he's here with me. People really don't think so much about the bond that siblings have. And I think in my case, because this person came into my life basically when I was a child, we were more of twins than siblings. It was really, really close to me. And so I would really miss them. I would really, really want to be with them. So I had this thing in my head where I created a family in my head and we were together and we were happy. I just folded inwards. For me, I have this happy life inwards, but outside, I'm not having a good time. So fast forward, I think within all this negotiation and talking and trying to mend this marriage, it was agreed that I should go to a boarding school. And I think also during this time, my paternal grandma, may her soul rest in peace, she died. So my sister and my brother, they didn't have someone to take care of them. Because my sister was young, she came back to stay with us. But because my bro, he had already started school, he had to go and stay with my stepmom. So again, he was there alone. And then now my sister joined me on this side. And a few months later, I was shipped to boarding school. I don't want to speak about boarding school, even though it wasn't the best. But what I would like to say is that the same year that I went to boarding school, my mom got a bit of a stable job. Then Sony Sugar Company. I don't know if you've heard of Sony Sugar Company, but yes. So she got a job there. So when she got that job, it meant she has stability, for one. It meant now there's no reason why her kids are scattered all over the place. So it means all of us, we need to come together and now be a family. I cannot explain to you how excited I was because of that. Because imagine, after all these breakups and all these emotions and loneliness, I'm shipped off to a boarding school in the end of the world. I'm still alone. That feeling is still with me. But then now my mom tells me, when you close school this term, you're coming home and your brother will be there and your sister will be there. I was the happiest. I remember I was in standard 6. Now I do remember that. So I came home for half term and the following day my brother came. Have you ever I think for me when I was growing up, if I missed you and I saw you, I would cry. It happened all the time. Like, it's like my way of telling you where have you been? Like, why would you do this to me? I had like a very crazy attachment to people. So when I saw him, I just started crying. And I think maybe because he's a boy or something, he was just wondering, what is wrong with this one? So he came and he sat next to me and he gave me, I remember, a biscuit. And then I gave him like a sweet. Our bond just began again and we started jumping all over the place. And that is how we reconnected. It was just like, I've not seen you for 2 years. But I remember I had not seen him for a complete 2 years for me to see him on that day. And then the following day, my sister came. So once again, we are reunited. We're with our mom. Everything seems to be getting back to normal. So when we're with our mother, it's still co-parenting essentially because my dad is not home. He comes once in a while. He buys us things when he comes. He takes us out when he comes. But now we are a family. Now we are with our mother. She's trying everything. Now my sister and my brother are enrolled in a school in the town we were living in near Sony Sugar. And I'm still in that boarding school. I'm about to go to standard 7. So anyway, so fast forward, I finished my standard 8. My brother is also continuing with this school. And my sister, I think by then she had already started school as well. So my bro was a very bright person. Very, very bright. I think if I remember him by being someone who knew how to fix everything. Tell me why a child knows how to make a radio work or how to make Christmas lights. He would just do all these crazy things that would make me think, wow, like this person is so bright. And even in school, he would do so well. He was always number 1. If he is not in a good mood, then he's maybe number 2. But he was such a bright child. And even my sister is very bright. Not to brag or anything, but I think it's just something we have. Maybe it comes from my mom. And I just want to go back a little bit to tell a bit of my mom's story because it's relevant for this story. My mom was a housewife for 13 years. By the time I joined Form 1, that is when she was like, I'm going back to school. You remember the reason why she wasn't so cool for this family? The reason why all this went south was because she had done her Form 4, but she did not go to college. So I think she was applying for colleges because she had done well. She had done well in her KCSE examination. By 2013, she got a call to go and study for teaching in Garissa. And we were so happy. My mom was very happy, but she had nothing really to for school fee or anything. And I remember the night she was going, all of us 3, we took her to the bus stop with her bag. And she told me, Audrey, I'm going there. I don't have school fee. I don't have anything. I'm going to tell that dean of students to give me a week to figure things out. I just don't want them to think I'm not coming. Because, when you get a letter and then you don't respond, they might just assume you're one of many who don't show. So she wanted to show. That woman is the strongest person I've ever met in my life. The way she rose from all this, she decided I'm going to make my life right. And that night, we bid her goodbye and she went to Garissa. Garissa was crazy during those times. And all this while I'm in high school, my mom is in Garissa trying, she would do hair to get money to pay for school fee, to pay for hostel, for accommodation and everything. And still, she would send me pocket money in school. That's a hustler right there. My mom is such a hustler. So she's gone to college and she's working really hard, by the way. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because she's a very bright person. By end of 2014, she graduated with distinctions. After giving birth to all of us, 13 years later, she graduated top of her class. And we were so happy. Well, we could not go to Garissa for the graduation because, all of us, there's not enough money. We were just trying to live by the little that we had. My dad would show sometimes not. My father is a wonderful person. I also want to say that because people might think from this story, he is a bad person. No, we have a wonderful relationship. Things do happen in life, sometimes adults, they make decisions that are not great, but at the end of the day, you understand these were young people. Me right now understands my father was 25, my mom was 20 when they came together.
When someone you love is facing cancer, You want to do more than send a card or flowers that will wilt in a week. You want to actually help. That's where the Balm Box comes in. Our care packages are built from research with over 500 cancer patients and caregivers, packed with items people actually use during treatment. Think soothing, practical, thank goodness I have this kind of relief. For you, it's not just a gift, it's a way to show up in a moment where words fall short. For them, it's comfort, calm, and a reminder they're not alone. From chemo-friendly boxes to mastectomy recovery kits, even options for men, we've made it simple to give something that's elegant, premium, and genuinely useful. And yes, domestic shipping's always free on orders over $50, because making someone feel cared for shouldn't be complicated. So skip the empty get well soon. Send real help, real comfort, and maybe even a laugh. Visit thebalmbox.com. That's TheBalmBox.com. Balm, like healing and care. The Balm Box, because cancer patients don't need bouquets and brownies. They need balm.
Those are children. I mean, Gen Zs for then. I mean, it's really crazy. So I totally understand where they come from. So my mom graduates top of her class in 2014, and we were so happy. And she's funny and she's brilliant, and I can't just believe she's my mom. So in that same year, now in 2013, my brother did his KCP examination. We knew he was gonna get a good school because this is him. He gets like 500 marks on some days, 499 on some days. So it wasn't like we didn't know he was gonna get into a good school. But early 2014, I come home from first AFTAM, and he's like, guess what? So I'm like, I can't guess. Just tell me what it is. And he's like, come, let me show you. And then he gives me this letter from Alliance High School. Whoa. I was so happy. And my mom was the happiest. She has struggled with us to go back to school, to fend for food, to fend for herself, to ensure we are dressed and eating. Now my brother is going to Alliance High School. And she's doing well. Already, she's almost graduating now. End of 2013, my brother does his KCPE. End of 2014, my mom is going to graduate. So this is a time when she's in college still. I was the happiest, and my brother was so happy. I think he didn't think he would get Alliance. Maybe Mangu, something close, or the schools that were great back then. But Alliance is not something we thought as a family. And considering everything we had gone through, that was like a cherry on top. Like God was giving us a cake, and then he puts like a cherry on top. Like everything was just perfect. So fast forward again, now in 2014, my brother is taken to Alliance High School. My mom takes him. My dad was there because, my dad has taken us to school, all of us. He did provide school fee. Yes, he did. He would come home maybe once in a while, but our school fee was paid. He would send money for upkeep. So in my mind, I think maybe adults disagree, but for him, he decided, for my kids, I'm going to be here. So that I have to mention. Yes, so my brother is taken to Alliance High School, the school of his dreams. He would tell us stories for days. I mean, the first time he came home from Alliance, I think he carried everything he had just to show us, like the weekend thingies you wear. How do you call those? I remember mine to be weekend dress. So for him, maybe it was like shorts and blazers. He came home with everything. Books that are like Alliance High School. Like it was a whole thing in our family. We were so happy. And he would tell us where they sleep, what they eat. I'm like, are you in school? Because for me, I was in high school in Nyanza. So I'm like, I can't relate with this. This is so cool. Like he would tell me the way they have sausages in the morning. I'm like, bro, sausages for us in the morning, it's like nothing, literally. And he would tell me where they sleep, how their dormitories are. He tells me I go to school with an ambassador's child. I'm like, wait, for real? And he tells me I have Sudanese classmates. Like it was so cool. He would tell me, my desk mate is an MP's son, all these stories. And we were just like, wow. It was just our whole thing. It made us so happy. I'd never been to Alliance School. Even today, I've not been to Alliance High School. But from what you would tell me, I knew that place was heaven, literally. For me, that was heaven. And he was so excited about it. He would tell us about his dreams. He wanted to become an head boy by Form 1, Term 1. And I'm like, are you not ambitious? But again, that is him. He loved to get on there. He was a leader. He was someone who he made friends easily compared to me. Yeah, so he's in Alliance High School. We are happy. My mother that year, 2014 end, graduates with distinction. Tell me why we're not happy. Everything is just perfect. So now, my mom, teaching, the way it is right now, when you finish, there's no guarantee you're going to get a job immediately. It's never. There's some people who finished like 9 years ago, they don't even have a job to date. And even my mom, there are people that she went to school with who don't have jobs to date in the TSC. But guess what? My mom gets called for an interview. She's just going because, I'm done with school, I have my papers now. Why not go for an interview? So she goes. A few days later, she gets a call. And actually, she's getting the job. Again, I come from school now in 2015, and my brother is like, guess what? Now I'm in Form 4. In 2015, I'm in Form 4. Guess what? And I'm like, tell me already. And he's like, Mom has gotten a job. Now that was the best. Because now we were just imagining there's no more living on scraps. Because my mom used to do hair to also feed us. There's no more not being sure of supper. There's no more not being sure of, whether there's going to be a meal tomorrow. She's going to have a stable job now. And when my mom got that call and she went to report in the school she was posted in, because now we were living in Migori County all this time, and then she got posted to Kisumu County. So we were going to live in a whole different town. I could not stop imagining us moving to Kisumu. I was like, I cannot wait to move to Kisumu. Now, this is like October of 2015. My brother is in Form 2. I'm about to do my KCSE examination, and everything is working out perfectly if you think about it. So my mom gets posted, she goes to Kisumu, but now she's commuting, she's like going there for a week, and then over the weekend she comes back home. I mean, the first salary my mother got, she was like, guys, come here, we're going to spend this money. There's no like, anything you want, tell me. It wasn't a lot of money, obviously. But she said, we're not saving anything from this money. We're going to eat what we want. We're going to do whatever we want. Anything you want. That is how much we had waited for a breakthrough, honestly. And now my brother was like, now I can go to Nairobi and I can look cool like the other kids. Being in Alliance High School and you're not coming from such a well-off family, there's that difference. You literally can see, I'm not as cool as these kids, but now my mom has a job. I'm going to dress the way I want. And I remember that time my brother was buying a lot of things. A cool bag, a cape, hoodies. He was just trying to now be the person that we always wanted to be, someone who does not lack. Like, I cannot explain to you the joy that we had in that time. And nobody would believe my mom got a job, actually. They were like, hey, did you pay something? Did you do something? But I can tell you right now, she did not do anything. It was a miracle for all of us. It was a wonder. Like, what do you mean you graduated? It's not even a year and you have a job. People have been waiting for this job for years. How did this happen? So now, December of 2015. So my brother is in Form 2. I've already done my KCSE. I'm home, just chilling, having a good time. My mom is not around. She's working in Kisumu County, but we have a plan that in December, all of us are moving there because now there's no point of us living here. And my dad will have to now come with us on the other side because where your mom stays basically is where you stay. Yeah, so it's December. And back in the day, our Christmas, it used to be basic. Let me just tell you the truth. My mom would cook for us like eggs and spaghetti. We'd drink some juice and call it a day. And it was such a happy time for me. I mean, it was just our thing. We don't have a lot of money, but guys, on Christmas, we're cooking chapatis, we're cooking eggs, and we are making spaghetti. And that was our signature Christmas dish. But now this year, my mom has money. Like, don't forget she has money. That's hers. She doesn't have to call someone else for money. Like, we have a lot of money basically. So we are going to eat a different Christmas this time round. She was like, guys, come here, tell me what you want. And I specifically remember even what happened on that day because my mom was like, he gave my brother the ATM card. She was like, go there and check if there's money. If there's money, withdraw this amount of money so that all of us can go shopping. That was 23rd December 2015. So my brother goes and then he comes back. He has swagger now. He's wearing a cape, a hood, and his voice is just starting to break because, he's a Form 2 boy and girls are hovering around our gate, because there's a cute boy there. And he's like, oops, there's no money. And then he's like, oh, I'm kidding, there's money. I cannot forget that particular day. My mom is like, let's go shopping. On 23rd, we went shopping. We were just buying things because now we have money. We can pick whatever we want from the shelf. We are away from living, like the hard life is past us now. We are basically rich in our own standards. Yeah, so that's 23rd. We go shopping for things. And then there's 24th. So what happened was, during this period, one of my grandmothers died. You remember I told you my dad is like a firstborn of 30 children. My grandfather had like plenty of wives. And so one of them, unfortunately, had passed on during this period. So again, there was like us going home in our rural home because of the funeral plannings and everything. So on Christmas Day, we have like a feast. And my brother's friends are over. My friends are here. We are having a good time. My little sister is there. Nothing seems to be wrong in my life. Right now, as an adult, I'm afraid of happiness because from that period, you can tell the much happiness we had, And then
When someone you love is facing cancer, you want to do more than send a card or flowers that will wilt in a week. You want to actually help. That's where the Balm Box comes in. Our care packages are built from research with over 500 cancer patients and caregivers, packed with items people actually use during treatment. Think soothing, practical, thank goodness I have this kind of relief. For you, it's not just a gift, it's a way to show up in a moment where words fall short. For them, it's comfort, calm, and a reminder they're not alone. From chemo-friendly boxes to mastectomy recovery kits, even options for men, we've made it simple to give something that's elegant, premium, and genuinely useful. And yes, domestic shipping's always free on orders over $50, because making someone feel cared for shouldn't be complicated. So skip the empty get well soon. Send real help, real comfort, and maybe even a laugh. Visit thebalmbox.com. That's TheBalmBox.com. Balm, like healing and care. The Balm Box, because cancer patients don't need bouquets and brownies. They need balm.
that happiness was just yanked away. It's like you were standing on a rug and then someone pulled it off. So sometimes I do not associate happiness with good things. I'm like, this is too good to be true. There's a part of me that is like that, but I'll get to that later. Because the days leading to the passing of my brother, I feel like they were extremely happy. They were surreal. Like it wasn't supposed to be that happy. Because even his birthday, my brother was born on the 29th of November 1999. I remember blowing a candle and being like, may you live 1,000 years. Looking back, I'm like, God must have been like, are you sure? Because literally, my brother had like a month to live from that day. Thinking about it from the countdown point of view, I just didn't know it. His birthday, we are happy, we are celebrating, we're like, saying these cute words we say on birthdays. But I just didn't know we are on a countdown and it's literally days left. And these days leading to that day, everything seemed perfect. The laughter was even louder. Like you'd feel the bond was even tighter. Like there's just something. You look at it after something has happened though. In the moment you don't. But after you look back, you're like, wow, we were laughing louder. We were making even funnier jokes. We were spending so much time together. We were happy before this happened. So anyway, Christmas Day, perfect. So on the 26th, me and my mom, we left home because we needed to go to our rural home again because of all this funeral planning that is going on for my grandmother. And that is 26th now. We spent the entire day there. In the evening, we're going back home. That is the last time I texted my brother. I can remember. I was like, hey, where we are, there's no lights. Do you have lights at home? And he texted back, no, buy candles. That was it. But I didn't know then that that would be the last text I ever get from him. So we go back home. Nothing seems weird. And that night, the night of 26th, I was sick. I was really sick. Whatever I'd eaten that day, it wasn't going down. And that night, I was feeling like someone was watching me sleep. But I didn't know. Maybe it was the angel of death, like choosing who is going to take away from us that day, because we used to sleep in the same room. And I had this feeling that someone was watching me. And I'd woken up so many times at night. Even him, he had taken me out of our house quite a number of times. But premonitions are weird because you do not know this is a premonition until something terrible has happened. Like, it's like a bell that is warning you of something, but there's nothing you're going to do about what is about to happen. It's a warning that you don't even know is a warning. I was feeling so sick that night. I was feeling like someone is watching me in my sleep. The following morning, now on 27th morning, we had a normal breakfast. Actually, we were sitting on a table, telling stories, eating. I can remember we were eating sweet bananas. We were having githeri. We were having tea. We were just having a random family morning. And because my mom has money, I have to reference this money thing heavily. My brother was like, you need to buy me a suit. I think now I have everything. I have like sneakers, I have hoodies, but I don't have a suit. And my mom is like, don't worry about it. It's a suit you want. You're going to get a suit. And it's just a normal morning. But for me, I feel sick. And my mom suggests when we're done with breakfast, you need to go and buy some malaria medication. She gives me money and she leaves. So that day, they were still going for this burial thingy that is going on at home. So my mom leaves with my dad in the morning because my dad was home on that particular day. So later, they were supposed to go with my brother, but he was sluggish. Being a teenager, he was just doing things slowly. So they went before him. So he leaves. And me and my sister were on our veranda. I think I was plaiting my sister's hair or undoing it, something of that sort. And he's in a purple hood. He was wearing blue jeans. He was wearing some white purple sneakers, if I can recall. And so he gets out of the gate. We used to really tease him because, his voice is just breaking and he looks fine. He was such a handsome boy. So we're like, hey, where are you going? Who are you going to see? We're just being sisters. Me and my sister were like, and you look so cute. You have to be meeting this and this girls. We knew a few girls that were hovering around our gate. So we're just teasing him about it. And he's like, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to join mom and dad over there because they were at the rural place trying to organize the whole funeral thing. And I'm like, see, you leave us with some money. You look like you have money. It was just a joke thing among siblings. And it's like, let me give you money. And he took his wallet and he just did this. And I think 30 bob came out of it, which we were so glad to take. And we lived in a place where it was like a hill. So when you're coming home, it's like you're climbing. And when you're going, it's like you're going down like this. So he's walking away. And I didn't know he's walking away forever, literally. Because we're laughing and he's going and he's like, I'll see you guys in the evening. And we're like, bye, 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 bye. And he's walking away and he's going. And I have no idea that up until today, I would never see him walk up that hill coming up. So I do my sisters here. We spend time together. I think later that day I go to the chemist. I buy these malaria meds, which I don't think I took. So around 4, my mom comes back and she's like, have you guys heard from your brother? And I'm like, no, you guys were supposed to meet. And she's like, for some reason, he didn't come. And then I'm like, maybe he met his friends and they did a detour thing and he's going to come home. And my mom is like, yeah, sure, I know your bro, but he's going to explain to me where he is, African moms and stuff. So for some reason, we sit in the house, it's 4, and we just seated. It's like we are gathered. No one is playing. I'm not even watching TV. We just seated. So we're sitting here I'm not sure how long we were sitting here. And then someone knocks at the gate. So I go to check it. That is maybe around 5. or 5:30 because now it's starting to get dark and he's not picking his calls. Actually, he wasn't picking his calls. And then at some point, his phone went off. So I go to the gate and I find this boy. He's there and he's like, hi. I didn't like this particular boy because, I was also a teenager. So I had issues with boys in the neighborhood for whatever reason. But it's like, I need to see you because it's about your brother. And when I hear my brother, I'm like, what? And my heart skips a bit, literally. Like, he hasn't even said what has happened, but something just happens. And I ran to the house and I'm like, Mom, there's a boy here and he says it's something about Warren. So my mom comes out and he's like, what? And this boy is like, so someone has called me. They have said they want to speak to the mother or the father of Warren, who is a Form 2 boy at Alliance High School. And my mom is like, who? Where's the number? And this guy came with a number written. So he gives my mom this thing that is written. And my mom is like, get my phone, get my phone. So my mom calls this person and he's like, hi, my name is this and that. I'm at the hospital. Now the small town that I was born in, Rongo town, now the hospital was there. It was like maybe 20 minutes from where we lived, Sony Sugar, the time difference. And he's like, are you the mom to Warren? And yes. Is a boy from Alliance High School? Yes. My mom is like, can you just speak up? What has happened? And the guy's like, he has been involved in a little accident. I need you to come. Everything, it's like there was a happy time and then now there's a not happy time. Something has just happened. My stomach is in knots. My legs can't hold me. I can't think. My mom is like, get my jacket. I don't even remember if my mom wore shoes because she was like, I need to go. And she tells me, when my mom came at 4, she came home with my dad's phone. It was like it was going off. So it was like, put this phone on charger for your dad. When he comes home, you'll give it to him. But now she's rushing to the hospital. She's like, I know your father and I will not be in communication. He's going to come here for this phone. Tell him this and this has happened to come to this and this place. And my mom leaves. It's around 6. I was cooking some meat in the kitchen. I had to go and switch off the gas because now you can't think, you can't sit, you cannot do anything. Your world has just started. Because when someone says someone is in an accident, you're trying to think, like, which kind of accident? Is it a broken leg? Is it like, if it is a broken leg, my brother should be speaking to us, telling us what happened. So it has to be something slightly serious. How serious it is. So my mom goes, we are left with my sister. We just went and we sat down, holding one another's hand. I think we were trying to pray. I don't remember what we were trying to do, but, we're just trying to say something to God, like, God, I beg you, let it be something that it's manageable. Let it not be what we are thinking. So remember, I know that from where we live to the hospital is 20 minutes. So I'm calculating in my head, my mom must have reached right now. So I'm calling her, but she's not picking. This worries me. Because now it means something way sinister is going on here. Accident, well, fine, but which kind? Time is going so slow. I've never felt that anxious in my life. Like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what has happened. This is my brother, my only brother. I do not want to imagine the worst. The worst is at the back of your head, but you're like, we're not going there today. So around 7, my mother is not picking her calls. My dad is not yet home. His phone is with me. It's fully charged, but it's with me. And there's no way I can even call my father. There's just a weird thing going on there. So I get a text from a cousin of mine who is like in standard 5. And she sends me a text saying, Warren is dead. When I read that, I think, first of all, I dropped the phone and I was screaming. So when I was screaming, my sister started screaming. She's like, what has happened? And I'm like, read that message.
Catch more African stories in the next episode of Legally Clueless. That was part 1 of Audrey's story. Part 2 is going to be out next week. So remember to subscribe on whatever podcast streaming platform you're listening to this on, because trust me, you do not want to miss out on part 2. I just feel like, obviously I have spoilers, but I feel like Audrey has this very clear way of sharing a story that She's telling you what's happening. At the same time, she's giving you so many life lessons. One key takeaway for me is how deeply children feel family fractures. Many of us think children don't notice things, they don't feel things. And in fact, earlier this week, I was reading an article about how when parents separate, the children may start showing signs of anxiety in somatic ways. So you'll find kids complaining of like consistent stomach aches, etc. And you might be treating it as just a physical symptom, but there's like a psychological reason backing it. Isn't that something? So even when adults think that kids are too young to understand, they do. I mean, when Audrey was talking about loneliness, longing for her siblings, and even just the resilience she's built along the way is just like such a powerful reminder of how much our early environments shape us, which is why we're taking childhood trauma so seriously in our upcoming group therapy session that we're going to give you more information about on Wednesday. Now, in part 2 of Audrey's story, we learn exactly what happened to her brother, and she has more life lessons to share with us. You don't want to miss out on it. So make sure you subscribe to this podcast wherever you stream your pods so you don't miss out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We've got awesome, inspiring episodes running over there of this show and other shows. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Links are in the show notes, or just search Legally Clueless Africa. Sign up for our newsletter. LegallyCluelessAfrica.com is the space to go to. And lastly, if you're sitting there with an inspiring story, we want to hear it. If you're African, we think your story is valid as is. So fill out the storyteller form. The link is in the show notes. Just always remember, number one, I truly appreciate you. I thank you for listening to all our episodes, including this one, to the very end. And remember, I truly believe that you have everything it takes to heal. That's it for this episode of Legally Clueless. You can share this podcast with your friends. You can keep it for yourself. I'm not judging. Just make sure you're here next week for the next episode.